The emperor of a city in China has been waiting for a daughter after having 15 sons over the course of 15 years. His wife goes into labor and gives birth to the long awaited woman princess. Everyone in the palace is over the moon until the head nurse passes out. It turns out the new princess has a disgustingly strong body odor that can make people unconscious. The king is informed about a fainting epidemic where 15 nannies, 5 nurses, and 2 guards have passed out because they could smell the new girl. The head doctor of the palace reveals that the princess suffers from severe reeking syndrome, which causes excessive emission of body odor. Unfortunately, a cure to this problem hasn't been developed at this time, but yet the doctor is confident he will cure the princess in a few days. Until then, they have to wear masks to take care of her. A week goes by, but with no progress in finding the cure. Sometimes her smell passes through the mask and makes everyone nauseous. For the welfare of the entire palace, the king orders the princess to be taken to the riverside residence. Away from everyone, time passes and the princess grows up to become a beautiful young girl, a sexy young girl. But her body odor remains the same, unfortunately. She has tried different kinds of baths, medicines, and soaps, but nothing really helps. At this point in her life, she just has accepted her fate as the stinking queen. But she is worried that she will remain unmarried because of the disease, and no man will ever love her. Her parents are equally worried for her and are constantly looking for a suitable man who will accept her despite her smell. Even though most people would find a plant repulsive, Kai loves it as much as the rest. Then comes the day of the competition, where 6 selected candidates have to make 3 smelly objects odor-free. They get to work immediately, some using magic, others using chemicals, while Kai uses his homemade fragrance. After a rough battle, only Kai and a young doctor named Ye are able to complete the task. They are given 3 months to create a formula or a technique that will cure the princess. If Kai is successful, the palace doctor will be humiliated, so he wants his junior Jay to win. He tries his best to discredit Kai's ability because he was born into a lower class family. However, the king allows him to participate, disregarding the royal doctor's suggestion. For the next few days, Kai works hard to create the most fragrant soap he has ever made. To look for subjects he can test it on, he goes to the fish market. To his surprise, a woman falls on him and is trying to lift a heavy fish. She is none other than the princess, who has just really disguised herself into a fisherwoman. She blames her smell on the fish so people won't think she is weird. Upon finding out that he is here looking for smelly people, the princess convinces her fisherman friends to help him. They come to his house where they are made to shower for about an hour using the soap on every corner of their bodies. Kai smells them afterward and passes out because the soap didn't work at all. After the fishermen leave, Hung offers to be his test subject for free. An excited Kai performs steam therapy, green water therapy, mummy wrap bath, and even other techniques on her, but nothing works to cure the gut-wrenching smell out of her body. Meanwhile, Kai's competitor, Ye, is working with the royal doctor. He wants to make sure that Kai does not win because it would ruin the reputation of the entire Royal Medical Association. They are willing to go to any lengths to prevent Kai from finding a cure, or any cure. The next day, Kai and Hyun continue the experiments. Kai notices that the smell of his stinky weed powder has vanished for some reason. He dismisses it as a mistake and continues working on other powders. When it is time for the girl to leave, it starts to rain very heavily. She stays with him for the night, and is shocked to see that the girl sleeps with her smelly clothes and shoes on. In reality, the clothes confide her smell to some extent, which is why she never takes them off. The following morning, they go to the forest to pick up some wild flowers. It starts raining again, and they have to take the shelter under Kai's jacket. Being this close to the girl, he can smell the awful scent of her and expresses his disgust. She has started to like him more than a friend. But of course, this comment kinda breaks her heart. A confused Kai watches as she runs away in anger and alone. Sometime later, Kai returns home to see all his flowers have been destroyed except the stinky weed. Seeking comfort, he goes to meet the girl and finds her dancing alone. Still angry, she hits him with stones. Refusing to believe that his house was trashed, Kai drinks for the rest of the night and falls down in the middle of the street. This is when he sees women sweating and comes up with an idea. He wants to create medicine from women's sweat since it might suppress the odor with its own smell. That way, one can just take a shower and remove this odor of the sweat medicine, and their body would be odorless. Kai asks for help from the fishermen, and they agree after the girl convinces them. So basically, Kai wants to change this order, order. At night, the group goes into the palace to meet the only smelly woman in the town, other than the princess. She is the royal doctor's wife, known for her smelly farts. The group hides outside the toilet and uses the formula on her, only to discover the solution doesn't work on women. For the next few days, Kai works day and night disregarding his health. The girl finds him bleeding out of his nose because he is sniffing too many times. She forces him to take the rest of the night out. Even though Kai is not a fan of the idea, the next morning he goes to the woods and comes across an old couple burying flowers in the ground. They reveal that they like to give dead flowers a proper burial. The couple turns out to be botanists with vast knowledge about different kinds of vegetation. The couple leave very shortly. Kai has a brilliant idea that will definitely work as a cure. He tells the girl that he has to travel around China to collect 4 seasonal flowers. She offers him to join, and the two set off for a month-long journey to places with different climatic conditions. They bond while traveling and return home after a successful trip. By now, they only have a week before the 3-month experiment period ends. Kai gets sick, so Hung, the girl, uses his diary to make the formula for him. Since Kai's nose is stuffy, he cannot smell her, and they end up sharing a bed at night. Eventually, the judgment day comes, and Hung allows him to cure the princess and marry her. Kai doesn't feel comfortable leaving her behind, but he has to prove that the aromatherapy actually works. In the following scene, the competitors are in front of the king, and the princess is behind in a tent. Ye goes first and uses several pressure points to try to make her odorless. He thinks if her tears are added to the medicine, it will surely work. To make Hung cry, Kai tells her that he knows the smell isn't coming from her clothes, but from her body. Hung reveals that she never had friends when she was little, and even her family disgraces her, all because of the stupid disease. One day she jumped into the river to commit the unthinkable and was saved by the fishermen. After coming to life, she finally discovered that she's not a diseased outsider. And the reason why she is in the fish market is because of them, and why she started living with them. By the time she gets done telling the story, she has collected enough tears. Kai thanks her for her help but feels bad about everything she has been through. The next day, he goes to the palace to submit the final product but sees the doctor and his wife together. The doctor has no sense of smell, but he doesn't want to be cured because then he wouldn't be able to live with his wife with smelly farts. The love between them makes Kai realize that he needs Hung in his life, the girl, the princess in his life. Hence, he returns to the market where she is attending the flower festival. He gives her the medicine and promises to love her forever even if it doesn't work. She flies into his arms and takes the medicine. Still, Kai goes to the palace to apologize to the king for not completing the task. He asks to apologize to the princess too and goes to her quarters to his surprise. Now, to his surprise, he finds an odorless Hung, an odorless princess, and discovers she is the princess. She finally has a loving husband and a nice smelling body that can be licked all over with her tongue. In the last scene, the two get married as the entire city celebrates. If you have received value in this video, I believe you know what to do. I thank you for your time and I thank you for listening.